Your mic cut out.
Oh, well, you're live
Okay.
now.
Okay. All right. Hello, everyone. My name's Legendary Rob, aka Heroic Rob. Um, Today I'm going to be running Halo 3 ODST on the Legendary difficulty, and we've got incentives to use the Grunt Birthday Party skull as well as the I Would Have Been Your Daddy skull. Grunt Birthday Party. Um, it's a skull that when you shoot a grunt in the head, confetti um, blows up. And as for I Would Have Been Your Daddy, it's rare dialogue, so you'll have a chance to hear um, hilarious dialogue, and it's on the legendary difficulty. So normally in a speed run, we do not use any skulls because somehow the skulls do factor into how normal gameplay gets involved. Also, I am playing on the Xbox One because with backwards compatibility, the load times between levels are much faster than on the regular 360. And as for the MCC version, the game's a little harder because you have to respond to enemies who load up quicker and react faster, and they even move faster too, because it's in 60 frames per second on MCC versus 30 frames per second on the disc version. Alright, so you're playing as the rookie. He's an ODST, and he's with the, I think it's Alpha 9, the ODST squad, and your intended mission was to capture the Prophet of Regret. And unfortunately, it did not go as intended. So what happened was, Regret's ship did a slip space jump inside the city, and the whole city's a mess.
Let me know when
Yeah.
I'm supposed to start.
So, oh, I'm sorry. Do you
Yeah,
want me to restart?
yeah, go ahead and restart quick. Sorry
Okay.
about that. I didn't hear you.
I'm sorry. I forgot. Okay, we'll start over.
Yeah, just give me a countdown from 5 when you want me to start the timer.
Okay, so
My bad. I thought maybe there was a cutscene. It shouldn't. It started
oh,
after.
after this first loading screen turns black, you can start the timer. Yeah, let's get a new world record of 0 seconds.
All right, all right. I'm ready on timer. Well, once the
Well,
black screen loads.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Alright, there we go. Alright, so like I was saying earlier, the ODSTs were on a mission to capture the Prophet of Regret and stop him because he invaded their city. And in Halo 2, he had a fleet of 15 ships, and there were 2 ships that survived the assault, and Regret's flagship managed to um, not land in Africa, but you know, um, approach Africa, because there is later in the series you'll see that there's the portal to the Ark, and Regret thought that he was at the Ark for some reason, but he was completely misinformed about the situation, and the ODSTs were trying to stop the Covenant invasion. But unfortunately, when the ODSTs were in their drop pods being sent down, the ship did a slip space maneuver. So what happened was, I missed a grunt. What happened was all the pods got scattered upon the shockwave of the slip space jump, and there were other ODSTs, but unfortunately they were all killed. There's only a few ODSTs left. So you can see that there's nobody alive, like no civilization except for like cars and stuff. That's because they're being evacuated, and a lot of the humans also probably were killed by the Covenant. you can tell that the town is completely dead. There's this structure here that's the space elevator, or was the space elevator, but it collapsed because of the slip space cloud that Regret's ship generated. So after 90 minutes, it completely failed. So now we're playing as the rookie, and we're figuring out what went on with our ODSTs. Oh no, that ain't good. So these, so the grunt birthday party skull actually also has an explosive effect. So when a grunt dies through a headshot, it involves an explosion, and unfortunately, I didn't realize that the grunt threw a plasma grenade right as I landed a headshot. And now we're just walking in this dark hallway, and as you can see, I have visor mode on, and it makes it a lot easier to see, but it's still dark. And without visor mode, this is what it looks like almost complete darkness. I was gonna try and empty my ammo, but I was too busy talking and explaining what was going on. So we found Dare's helmet, and apparently Dare lost her helmet, unfortunately, trying to get out of her drop pod. And we are now playing as Buck, and we're figuring out what's going on with the ODSTs. So this part here is kind of dicey. Oh, I better watch where I'm going. Trying to watch my back and not get killed by the brutes. Some of the brutes have brute shots and they can two-shot you. Sometimes these checkpoints don't work in Tayori Plaza because the game is picky. That grunt is mad. I got a checkpoint. Shooting jackals where their weak point is kind of hard sometimes, especially if they have the needler. And the needler is hard to work with because it's actually a solid object, and their hand, the jackal's hands are protected. I know it's a little bright with the visor mode on, but it helps me identify the enemies because they have a red outline to identify enemy from friendly. So I'm just gonna make sure that door shuts because enemies like to shoot. Now there's a couple snipers in this section here, so we'll have to be careful and take them out. Those jackals are too far away for me to take out. Like I said, these jackals are not fun to deal with. I could have EMP'd them. Nice throw. I want a checkpoint, but unfortunately the game's not being nice to me. Oh, there goes my Marine.
Buck, location.
Almost there. What's wrong?
Multiple hostiles closing on my position. Listen carefully. If I don't make it...
There's a sniper on the right.
Hang on. I'll be
Or
right there.
on top.
Too late. They spotted me.
Damn it, no! Veronica! Talk to me. Don't move. I'm coming. Here?
I got killed, unfortunately. Oh yeah, and by the way, those hunters, they have a melee attack that can
They spotted me.
just have an awkward way of hitting you.
Talk to me. Don't move. I'm coming.
If you throw a frag, they'll usually take a defensive stance. One of the hunters has a kind of a fuel rod stream type, and the other hunter has the classic Halo 1 type fuel rod cannon. Alright, and Tayari Plaza, it's not exactly the best level. So what happens is, the superintendent is the AI that monitors the entire city of New Mombasa, and it's still functional even with the slip space cloud affecting all the electronics. So what happened was Buck finds out that Dare is not in her pod, and an engineer almost self-destructs, but Romeo sees Buck in danger and snipes the engineer from like across the plaza. And then they decide to look for the other ODSTs that had gone missing. And now you're back to playing as a rookie, and you're finding out what happened with the rest of the ODST members. Throughout the in between the levels, when you're on the streets in the first couple levels, you're just gonna be walking. So what I'm doing is slide jumping. It saves a few frames. It's also kind of effective. You can see right here, this engineer is being strapped on with a bomb, unfortunately, so the engineer can't be saved by anybody. And not only that, but engineers also provide overshields for their allies. Later on, you'll see that we'll be rescuing an engineer. Also, this music is very atmospheric. In many of the Halo games, it's all about rock, and yeah, there's plenty of rock in this game. But with Halo 3 ODST, they decided to add jazz to it, and it's actually pretty cool. I better save my pistol ammo because there's a chance of a sniper showing up. Usually there's a sniper on the upper left corner, but I don't see one, so it looks like we're all good. Alright, nothing to it. So now we're figuring out what happened with Dutch. Dutch uses a Spartan laser and an SMG. So he crash lands on a beach by the Uplift Reserve, which is kind of like a, sort of like a zoo. This is a quick level, and it has vehicles.
Trooper, over here. Help us secure this vehicle.
These choppers here can be bad. These Marines can also get in the way. Nice job, buddy.
Watch that chopper. Hit it head on and it'll tear us to pieces.
sometimes that section of the level, it's narrow, and if you take too much damage, you just die.
Trooper, get this warthog
This time around, the enemies were nice.
clear this sector.
And then we have this little shortcut here. We gotta maneuver. Not the greatest. It's a rock wall climb.
Trooper, you're almost a second platoon
You gotta
located.
do a little button pressing
To the primary objective.
and maneuvering around with
You know the
rock
public carriage
ledges.
tucked away from the city? We need to secure its old LZ.
And
Snatch its
climbing
command
that
center
wall
for the sector.
skips a lot of enemies that wanna shoot you down. They have choppers, they have turrets. See how that chopper is? He's being a troll. This is also the only level with chopper, which is really sad because Bungie could have done more with the chopper. Also, there's trip mines that the brutes throw at you as
What
well.
the hell just happened?
Subspace rupture. Must have weakened the support rings.
And trip mines are hardly ever used in this game.
Target assets are on the move. Everyone clear the area before more debris comes down.
Alright, so I mentioned earlier that elevator collapsed, and that's what happened. Parts of the elevator went up into space, and other parts just went crashing down. Didn't mean to flip the ghost. That doesn't happen much.
Found a hole in the wall, Trooper. Drive right through it.
That was a good run, though. So what happens is there's two unique cutscenes at the end. Sometimes Dutch is riding on a ghost, and sometimes Dutch is on a warthog, and it depends on what vehicle he has. If you don't use a vehicle at all, he'll be shown on a warthog. Because I don't think Bungie would want him just flying off without a vehicle. It would look really weird. And now we're back to playing as a rookie. Dutch also decides to look for the other ODSTs as well because he's all alone. Alright, so now there's two routes we could take, and I'm taking this route because there's a couple fire bombs we'll use later. That'll help us clear one of the last sections of this level a lot easier. I like the plasma pistol over the needler by a lot. So we're gonna have a lot more combat in this set of streets than compared to the other street that we had. And also the sniper rifle, I'm playing on New Game Plus, and there's these caches that we unlock, and you'll collect audio logs. And throughout the story, there's like a backstory to this game. Trying to get my focus here. That's not what I wanted. That grunt is just standing there. I can still make it with one firebomb. I just forgot to select the frag grenade. But anyway, there's a backstory to this game, and when you collect all the audio logs, you'll figure out more of the story. There's a character, her name is Sadie, and she is out to try and rescue her father, who is the maker of the SI, the Superintendent SI, AI I mean. SI for short, is short for the Superintendent. And she has her own adventure with during the Covenant invasion. She meets up with this cop who happens to save her from the corrupt police chief. Not Master Chief, but this police chief. His name is Kinsler. And he's very corrupt, and he wants Sadie for his own personal purpose. And unfortunately, this corrupt cop has her father killed. Oh yeah, and these are stalker brutes, by the way. They're in active camo. And unfortunately I can't kill them. There's a carbine jackal too. So this brute with active camo is gonna give me more problems, unfortunately. Today is not my day. I want to show you this really cool trick with these 2 frags once I get out of here. That did not go as well as I wanted it to go. Sometimes when I don't kill all the enemies, things do go wrong. I didn't get a checkpoint. I was a little shaky at the end. And I wasted too much sniper ammo. So now we're playing this game a little out of sequence. You're really supposed to play Kazingo, but since this is New Game Plus, we can go pretty much wherever, except for Data Hide and Coastal Highway. I'm just gonna wait for this to hit that wall.
You don't let us trigger those charges, in about 5 minutes, your data center is going to be crawling with covenants.
So what we're doing now is the police force is defending the Oni building. The reason why is Oni has very crucial secrets in this facility, especially underneath. So we're supposed to detonate this building. Actually defend it, but we learn later that we have to detonate the building because it's just too dangerous to let the Covenant have the building. Have access to the building and whatever is down below.
Man, Covenant landing on the other side of the wall.
So now these hunters here gotta get taken out with a Spartan laser. That grunt was laughing when he got blown up. They're on some kind of laughing gas, literally.
All right. If you see red, move.
Can't be all of them.
Alright, so I have this sniper rifle, but I'm gonna give a Marine this sniper rifle because Marines have more armor than the police. And Marines are just better fighters in general.
Headshot.
All teams, hold the ridge. We'll let them get out of the building.
Target down. Charged and ready. Time for medicine.
That's odd for those two brutes to go over to the left. Usually it doesn't happen.
Oh God, no.
Those brutes threw the bubble shields in unison. That's actually pretty funny. Oops, that's right. Forgot that grunts like to throw their grenades right at me and then they blow up with the confetti. It's actually it's sort of a defensive tactic on their part.
This is not going to plan.
I repeat, fall back to the top of the ridge. More phantoms.
All right, good. More phantoms.
Charge stand ready.
I'm on the turret.
Now we just have to wait for these phantoms to deploy the enemies, and then these doors will open up.
Back blast. Oh, this sucks.
We can't hold them. Everyone
Alright,
gets
so
back.
unfortunately the Covenant will overwhelm everybody that's still alive, and then it'll force us back into this building. Sometimes Mickey, for whatever reason, will just teleport, and it's a waste of time, unfortunately.
Man down.
Hurry up, man! Check those charges.
Wait, what? More explosives? Yeah, what gives? I thought we were supposed to protect this building.
I have orders to deny enemy access to all classified data housed in this facility. If you don't like it, jump your butts back in order.
So now this is kind of like a firefight where enemies come in waves.
They're cutting through the door.
It starts out with a bunch of grunts and a couple jackals, and then a brute comes in with them, and then more brutes come in afterwards. So you gotta be even more careful now with the Grunt Birthday Party Skull because their explosive radius has increased. Haha. You can't stick me like that, Mr. Brute. He stuck my turret, and if I kept the turret on me, it would have killed me. I don't know why I have a Spartan laser on me still. I don't know who is coming from where.
Everyone take a big step back. Just die.
Alright, we're all good. So, one fun thing is that allies will replenish your ammo at no cost to you.
Phantom dropping reinforcements coming your rear, trooper.
So now more enemies are coming out to get you. And it's best to shoot the brutes with the brute shots first because they're very dangerous. I missed that guy by a couple centimeters, unfortunately.
Reloading.
Nice try, buddy.
No. Low on ammo. Huh. Time for a spanking.
Good. Glad that's over.
You think there's more of them?
I gotta see if I can get a frag grenade real quick. Probably not. Okay. So there's a chance that, there's a good chance usually that I'm able to kill off all these enemies at the rooftop.
Everyone on the elevator.
And the Pelican will come down and I'm able to
All right, that's it.
get
Transfer
out,
the detonation
get
code
up
to
into the
my comm.
Pelican and end the level
Anyone
early.
finds out, it's gonna be me.
Evac bird's gonna meet us on the roof.
Alright, there's these enemies called drones. They come in groups usually. And they're just, sometimes they're a pain to deal with. But these drones that fly, they can sometimes die in one shot from the SMG.
Frag out.
And look at Mickey just throwing a frag grenade at these enemies. Now if it was a spike or a plasma grenade I could understand, because when it sticks it kills. But Mickey's just being dumb.
Careful, friendly fire.
This chieftain has a hammer and invincibility. So what I did was
On my last mag.
EMP his shield so he can't activate his invincibility because he's stunned.
Roll over, my foxtrot. Get yourself foxtrotted.
My health's a little low. And we're good. The hammer doesn't do much really. I mean, at the end of the level, there's no real point. So what happens there is Dutch and Mickey, they make their way out of the site and blow up the building, and then the officer that's on that Pelican informs them that Buck and Romeo are alive and waiting for them at the station. It's actually a building, like a real tall building. So now we're back to playing as the rookie and figure out what's going on with the rest of the squad and how they got there. There are some sniper jackals we have to be careful with, and there's also a trick I want to pull off. It's not always safe to pull off to begin with because these enemies will take notice of you, and you have to kind of set yourself up kind of carefully. That can happen. That's why it's not always safe to do it. It's better if I take the left path when I get towards those enemies, because then they don't quite notice you. But yeah. And then after you do jump up onto the rooftop successfully, you have to worry about another jackal sniper. And then, not to mention, the mongoose has to be in a certain position where the game will see that it's there, so you can continue to use the mongoose. That's a brute shot. That's not good. So now I'm going to try another way. We gotta wait a few seconds because there's a chance of dying to a frag. That jackal sniper was staring me down. That's scary when they give you that look. So now we're on Kazingo, and we're playing as the, in my opinion, the stupidest and silliest character in the game, Mickey. This level has a pretty tough trick, and it doesn't always like to work out. I don't have a plasma pistol, but it should be okay. What I care about most is making sure I get out of that section.
Sure, as long as I get to drive the tank.
That's not good.
Come on, Trooper! Don't let the... good work, Trooper. Covenant's been rolling us back block by block. Every Marine in the city is heading for a rally point near the Naval Intelligence Building. You ought to come with us.
Sure, as long as I get to drive the tank.
We got a squad of Marines pinned down.
This brute can be a troll sometimes.
Back to Covenant, Trooper. Once you commit, don't stop moving. Come on, Trooper! Don't let the race kill our tank!
Okay, I got a checkpoint, that's good. I want to shoot 3 enemies. It's not working for me.
This is under the bad category.
I love that confetti explosion. This is bad. Wait a couple seconds. And then I gotta wait for this door to open as well. Now, if I can't get a plasma pistol, unfortunately, I'll have to do this the old-fashioned way, which is not fun to do. That's a needler. Hi, buddy. You're supposed to die. And stay dead. This rocket guy here needs to die because he'll blow up my banshees. And there is a plasma pistol. So this is the old-fashioned way, luring, but on foot. And as you can tell, these banshees don't want to fall for my tricks.
Hey, watch this.
I forgot about those sandbags. They get in my way. I'm gonna get in the ghost now because this is getting dumb. Sometimes they'll banshee bomb you. And sometimes they'll just keep doing what they want to do and just be trolls. Alright, we're good. Alright, so now we have that banshee. Normally we're not supposed to be in it. I'm gonna see if I can get a checkpoint here. I wanted to. Oh well. It's best for both shots to be fired at the same time. If they alternate, it makes it even harder. There we go. When they alternate, there's like no room for me to actually attempt climbing up that wall. Also, it's just better to get a plasma pistol and EMP a Banshee. Unfortunately, I just wasn't able to get that one plasma pistol because I didn't see it in time, and it would have made it even more complicated.
Great job!
So now we're now on a timer. We're waiting for a phantom to show up. It's scary when that fuel rod cannon shoots off after the grunt dies. Dutch can deal with that grunt, hopefully.
Hold your fire!
Alright, and that's it. So what happens there is a police officer opens up that gate asking for an explosives expert because they want to destroy the building that is holding critical information about the war. Hey Fies, how's it going? Alright, so now we're gonna figure out what happens on NMPD when they reunite. Now, there's a section of this level here where there can be several types of spawns. You could have 2 turrets, you could have 1 turret and a ghost, 2 turrets and a ghost. And hopefully everything goes well. Okay, no ghost. Sometimes when all those enemies are spawned together, it's brutal. So the ODST squad was supposed to reunite, but unfortunately, they were attacked by Banshees, and
Back inside.
Mickey and Dutch's Mickey and Dutch's Pelican gets shot down, and we have to rescue them.
Thanks for picking such a tall building. I'm really digging all these stairs.
That did it. Shoot and scoot.
Now this first part of the level can be tricky because a lot of enemies want you dead, and sometimes you just don't get the good spawns.
Watch yourself.
You're fine.
We're down, Gunny. On a roof.
Buck will spawn behind me.
Stay put, Dutch. We'll come to you. Grab some ammo, Romeo.
Game didn't want to give me a checkpoint. Shame on you, game. Can be a little nervous sometimes, especially this next section.
Sniper, up top.
Romeo, get to work. Jetpack route. Don't let him get behind us.
That poor grunt. I like back smacking the boar chieftain. Feels so good. Because he ain't so tough when his back is turned. So now this beam we're on can actually knock you off if you're not careful. Oh, that poor guy.
Bird's wasted. Lost the pilot on impact. Rest of us are okay.
Not for long. Phantom's inbound.
Why am I not surprised?
Pick a turret, Romeo. Conserve your ammo. This is gonna get hot. Phantom to our right.
I don't want my characters to get close to me because they will kill me or get me killed if I use the missile pods. And it really sucks because it's annoying. And that Banshee just wrecked me. Alright, I had to make sure that brute was dead. Oh, hey. Hi, buddy. So this entire part of the level is all about killing banshees and dropships. I just realized the Phantom didn't spawn at all. I might have to... oh, never mind.
Phantom, dead ahead. Good job.
That was close.
I'm gonna kill you with lightning.
Man, I'm just missing a lot of these shots today.
More Phantom! Hit him hard!
Wait for it.
I will slap the smoke right
Look at those banshees swarming all over the place.
Phantom coming in left. Tango down.
Wow, that Phantom actually blew up. See if I can make it in time. I think that's all of them. Alright, we're good. So a lot of you know this, but I'm gonna say this anyway. There's one more Phantom that drops a chieftain, and this chieftain kills the remaining police officer and almost kills Romeo, but Buck kills the chieftain with a knife. That's pretty impressive. And then they're evacuating the city, but unfortunately when they get to the subways, it's all flooded. So now we're just traveling from one point to another with the mongoose. There's a couple snipers. Just gotta be careful of them. And Romeo, he gets hurt real bad because the chieftain uses the bladed part of the hammer, and it hit his lung.
Gunny, I can fly a Pelican, but a Phantom?
It's been years since I even ran a simulation. Well, let's see what you remember, Cooper. Move!
I wanted to EMP this incoming Banshee, but unfortunately nobody dropped a plasma pistol.
Go, Mickey, up the lift, kill the pilot.
Okay, Mickey spawned like he's supposed to. Once in a good while, he won't spawn at all.
Cabin secure. Flight controls read green across the board. Well, purple. But she's good to go. I think. On my way.
So I waited for a couple seconds so Mickey wouldn't say additional dialogue.
Ooh, nice wheels.
Oops. Didn't mean to do that. So what I did with there is make Romeo spawn into the Phantom much quicker.
All set back there? Affirmative. Romeo, let's man these turrets.
We have to wait for a lot of these doors to open, but there's a couple we can open manually.
Banshees, coming through the tunnel.
That's the way we're headed. Take him out.
The reason why I'm getting out is to get more fuel rod cannon ammo.
That's right, you damn aliens. Doesn't feel so good, does it? Well, like the good book says, payback's a bitch. I don't think it actually says that, Doc. I'm paraphrasing, you heathen.
Doors open. I'll go first.
Roger that. All the doors.
And that door doesn't like to open instantly all the time, but for this time it did. Could be because since I spent enough time in the first Banshee section that it opened faster for whatever reason.
Workaround inside the tunnel. Cover me. Reloading. Target down.
Dang it. I got brutalized there.
Damn, door's jammed. Must have lost power.
I'll head through on foot. See if I can find a workaround inside the tunnel. Frag out. Yeah.
If I kill too many enemies here, then another set of enemies will spawn. There we go. I was blinded by that flare.
That did it. Door's open.
Troopers, I got bad news.
What? You really are gonna make us walk out of this city?
We got a scarab right by our exit.
This is the best mission ever.
Alright, so this scarab you don't have to kill. How? But you do gotta watch where you're going.
Knock out its legs and it'll stop moving, Gunny.
Funny thing is with that scarab, when you open those doors and go through the door, that scarab goes down. So after Kikowani Station, Buck he regroups with the rest of the ODSTs, but he later recalls that he has to rescue Dare and complete the mission as well. So Buck decides to go and find where Dare is. And now we're on to Data Hive, which is the worst level in the game. This level is long and monotonous, as well as difficult in some parts. It's like real bad.
Why Yanmei ain't not sealed this entrance? Too busy building fancy spit house. If traitor escape, it's their fault, not ours.
That's a lot of confetti. So yeah, there ain't much to this, it's just pretty quiet. And it's also best to avoid grunts at super close range with a headshot, because you can take damage from the confetti. Yeah, it's so great that it does damage. Their heads are party poppers.
Do it, Virgil, now!
Oh, that's not good.
This way. We have it cracked.
Do it, Virgil, now!
Haha.
I'm gonna die, you hear me?
Thanks, Trooper. They
So the
almost had me.
confetti's not actually a mod, it's part of the
Track me down
game
the
if
next
you
level
use a
stuck with my
skull.
team, but this stack is locked down tight.
Welcome. Access granted.
Huh. Guess you have the magic touch. Buggers! Look out!
So you can tell this room is very dark. Take a look real quick, it's really dark. I want those grenades. Oh, that poor brute got burnt to death. Did you see that grunt next to him that got pelted with the confetti? That's what happens. So what I'm doing is I despawned some enemies, so I wouldn't have to face 4 brutes here. That's why I moved left just a little. It looks weird, but it despawns enemies and saves time from having to fight and use your
Going down
grenades.
to level 9 too. Guess I could use some backup.
Welcome. Access granted.
I was just delaying the checkpoint. Oh, hi. Well, that didn't work out. Grunts are party animals.
On my way. Kill it. Do not let it pass. Take this with you. Look out.
Oh, I got beat. That's unfortunate. Man, that guy is brutal. So yeah, this is the hardest part of Data Hive. It's not nice at all.
Don't make a mistake. Follow me. Right going in.
So that brute died to being burned. Wow, this ain't going good for me. I hate this section. It's so brutal. Oh, man. So yeah, everybody just causes pain and misery for me in this section. It's so cold, that's why.
Alert! Enemy contact!
Oh, hi.
Buck?
He came out of nowhere. But man, that was bad.
Should have told you more about this mission. More about everything.
That's why Data Hive can be so brutal. That's why it's the worst level in the game. Now they want to come and fight me. That bubble shield just annoys me because all the enemies like to hide. Alright, and now we rescued Dare, and I want her pistol. It has more ammo and it pretty much is similar to what I want to use it for, and it's headshots. So now we're gonna try and recover the engineer, or rescue the engineer. Wow. Man, that brute did not want to die.
Save yourself! Here, I got it. Fire in the hole!
Where am I going? Alright. Things will be a little easier now, but now we also have a trick jump on the way. So we're gonna drop down. And then there's this trick where we despawn a whole swarm of buggers, or drones, whatever you want to call them. And that makes the level a lot easier. Who did that? So this trick may take a couple attempts, but we're gonna get a nearby checkpoint.
Right under the hive. Head across the bridge. Let's see if we can find a way up.
Now it's just meleeing and jumping. I guess we don't get a checkpoint because that grunt didn't want to die. So now we gotta start over, unfortunately.
Not actually a rookie. Well done. Getting warmer. We must be right under the hive. Head across the bridge. Let's see if we can find a way up.
Oh, now I get a checkpoint. Thank you, game. There we go. First try.
Trooper,
With a
through here.
checkpoint. So now we're walking this catwalk here. It's a very boring section because there's no enemies to fight, but it's also kind of a good thing too. So yeah, you can tell these hive structures, they're kind of creepy looking. There's a whole bunch of drones in each of them, and it would just take too long for me to deal with. Alright, we're almost done with this level. And then we have the best level of all, Coastal Highway.
Smash through that door. Let's take him out now.
You will pay for your insolence!
I can't believe he did that.
Let's take him out now. Not bad.
In your face.
You do know your stuff.
I got a very bad hammer.
Nice and
Alright, so now we rescued Virgil.
Still has shields, but they won't last
That's the
long in a
engineer
firefight.
that took the superintendent's AI.
Take point.
Engineers are
Clear path to Buck.
biocomputers in the Halo universe.
I'm impressed.
Company, don't fail!
Veronica! Over here! Hurry!
Leave Virgil alone.
This is our exit, rookie. Head through the door.
Those drones can wake up sometimes for no good reason.
About this, asset. Feel free to fill me in whenever.
Not now, Buck.
Whoa, easy does it, rookie.
Poor Virgil is stuck up there because of that stupid brute. So it's gonna take longer for this section to go through its normal dialogue.
Watch where you ah! Door's locked. Damn.
Don't worry. We have a key.
Poor Buck. This is the worst state of hive I've had in a while, and it's because of sub-level 9. Such a bad level, especially sub-level 9.
I've seen hundreds of these things today. Why is this one so important?
This engineer knows what the Covenant's after. If I could safely capture more of them, I would. What they know could win the war.
Oh,
You haven't killed any of them, have you?
no. Well, maybe one or two.
Nice work.
How was I supposed to know?
And look. All these drones. Can't believe they all wake up. Doesn't happen often.
You are one efficient murdering son of a bitch. Elevate. Come on.
Man, that was so bad. One more level. It should never be that long.
Captain, how about you hang back? Let us clear a path.
Alright, so this is Coastal
I'll stay with the
Highway.
asset, give it
Much
close
of the
cover.
level is just the highway. It's a lot of driving. And then towards the end of the highway is a bunch of firefights.
I'll be right there. No, this is for you.
Can't that thing move any faster?
All the shooting, it's frightening.
Want me to give it a little push?
Reloading.
This way. Should be an elevator right through here.
Sit tight. We'll need the alien to power on the switch.
So Virgil can pretty much do anything with the AI inside of it.
Take the wheel.
And
Rookie.
throughout the highway
I'll
there will be
shotgun.
doors to unlock, and Virgil will use the program that it has to unlock those doors.
Hey, Captain? Pick a lane.
It's a little crowded in here.
So you don't want to run over grunts because they're throwing plasma grenades.
Hey! What's that?
Gotta be kidding me.
I'm doing the best
And
I can.
Buck, whenever he speaks, will stop shooting.
Be careful. Go! That's it. Keep her steady. You're going down.
Covenant must have shut these doors. Give the engineer a second to override the lock. That's it.
Oh, there's a field rod cannon. And I want the rocket too.
That's right. That just happened.
So you don't want to get too far ahead of Dare, because when you're up against enemies, they're going to focus on you. And you also don't want to get too behind from Dare because she'll take all the damage.
Whoa! What just happened?
I think the engineer found a way to extend its shield. Send a
This is
current
pretty
to
much
the
an
blade.
entire escort
I don't know how
mission,
strong the shields are. Stay
like
close.
in
Don't worry.
Truth
we
and
got you covered.
Reconciliation from Halo 1. But at least that was a lot easier. This, you have to make sure Dare does not die, or Virgil.
I'm gonna need your insurance information. Keep her steady. Another cruiser.
They're all heading for the slip space crater. A Covenant dig site north of the city.
Move! Move, move! Nice work. Hell of a ride!
Alright, this next door here, we better get right because we don't have a checkpoint. Get him off me. Dumbass Buck.
Keep her steady.
Yeah, Buck sure is helpful.
Phantom inbound!
Buck can deal with it himself. I'm thinking that Grunt Birthday Party might make the Grunts throw grenades a little more. I'm not quite 100% certain.
Careful! Friendly fire!
So now this part's gotta go well too.
Goes down! Alright! Give me an angle!
that was close.
Thanks for your help there. Anyone still see movement? Hey,
Finally,
it's a Gauss hog.
I should get a
Change
checkpoint.
vehicles. Concentrate on driving. I got this. Banshee, up above. That's it. Keep her steady. I have him in my sight.
Okay, I think. Oh, hold on. Still not safe. One moment.
Keep it steady.
Yeah, we got time for one quick donation.
Alright, we got $10 for promo 45100 saying Baguette again, and $1 from QU Shaka saying Baguette.
I
How?
see it. Must have dropped out from one of those cruisers.
Great job, guys. Thank you very much.
It hasn't spotted us. Ray, give me an angle. Watch out. Hey, here she goes.
How the hell did you make it down this highway in one piece?
There weren't as many Covenant last night.
I see a Scorpion tank up ahead. We need the extra firepower.
Alright, just need to make sure that Dare doesn't die. Poor Buck. He's cursing at the Wraith. So this next part of the highway we're going to use a Scorpion, and we have a whole bunch of turrets and Banshees. Then there's this AA Wraith that continuously shoots out Fury Rod cannon shots right there on the right. I don't know if it misses on purpose or what, but obviously it would not be a good thing if it shot directly at Dare.
Get the damn turret! I have him in my sight. That's it, keep her steady.
We have another $1 Shaka saying Baguette power. And we actually got 2 more $1 donations.
Alright.
Random! Assault carrier. 10 o'clock.
Alright, this next section here is kind of an auto scroller, so you can go ahead and continue with any donations.
I managed to catch up on them for now.
Okay. Look at all those baguettes on the chat.
It's charging its excavation beam.
But the dig site's on the other side of the city. Is it done? Good work.
So now we're just waiting for Dare to reach the door and open it, and then the next section here can be kind of dicey because there's a war chieftain with a fuel rod cannon that will just annihilate anyone.
No! They're gonna burn this city and then glass the whole planet! Covenant bastards! Just like Reach all over again!
Made it out of there. Make it out of here. Do this stuff.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Mickey, you read me? Change your plan. You're coming to us.
That's not good.
Guys kind of crowded, Gunny.
There's no other way. Covenant just waits at the highway. We're gonna keep rolling as far as we can. Get airborne, fly the fastest to my beacon.
Understood.
Whatever
That
you
brute
do,
was on my tank.
stay clear of that
I
carrier.
thought for a minute he was boarding me.
Scarab! Look out! This one's onto us!
We're going too fast. I can't stop.
Bug slapping is hilarious.
Come to me!
Acid.
That wasn't too
All
bad.
right.
The only issues I had were the start of the highway pretty much and the bugger door.
Garbage trucks had it.
Take the next off-ramp. I see a building. Go left side of the highway. We'll hold up there. Wait for evac. Veronica, wait here. Rookie, let's secure that building.
Wake up, guys.
Backflip. Area secure. Veronica, come to us. We'll cover you.
This grenade will explode if you melee it.
Mickey, what's your ETA?
Had to reroute, Gunny. The whole damn city's on fire.
Trooper, I have a tier 1 asset and a whole bunch of Covenant that want it dead. What are you gonna do? Step on it.
Yes, ma'am.
So now we're gonna wait for a bunch of drop ships to approach, and then they deploy their troops. I don't know why there's a pistol over here.
Hostile Phantoms coming in.
Gotta kill this guy before the Furok cannon. He's almost as dangerous wherever he goes. He's over there. There we go. Not bad. Now Dare will need to reload our rockets.
Okay, thanks. Low on ammo.
You're in a better place now.
We're almost done.
More Phantoms! Look sharp!
A few more waves to go.
Swapping mags.
Sniper! idea of a fair trade.
Yes, Buck, it's a fair trade. Oh, watch out for Dare.
You realize this is a better weapon, right? Heat in the pipe! Changing mags! It's over! We did it!
Alright. Last set of enemies.
That's not good.
It's hammer time. Alright. Almost done. And these two wraiths over here, they actually have 1 HP. The brutes inside them have 1 HP.
Line 'em up, boys! Romeo, take the one on the left. I got it. We're steady.
Replacements. Make one hell of a team.
Just nice to know they really do listen. Come on, let's get out of this city.
Alright, and
Go, rookie! Head
that is time. Alright, 1919. That was actually better than Data Hive. Goes to show how bad Data Hive really was. So, the ODST squad gets out of there, and they bring the engineer to Johnson. And the engineer pretty much provides vital information, and that pretty much sums it up.
All right. End result was 130. Oh, the timer didn't stop? Crap. Well, my bad.
136.30.
Yeah,
The timer
it was
issue.
that one. Yeah, the new hotkeys and all that.
Yeah, that's fine. 136.30. That's fine. I was kind of doing a D-Rust run, but I'm glad I did have a 140 estimate. Alright, thank you everybody for watching.
Yeah, thanks a ton for doing the run for us. It was great. Love all the Halo runs we got.
Alright.
Yeah.
Did someone mention Halo runs?
Okay, we got some extra time here during setup. So for those just tuning in, currently we're at $350 in donations, and reminder that all the proceeds go to the Foundation for Alcoholism Research. So stay tuned for our next run. We have Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell Conviction, Rookie 80% with Nakina,